الحمد لله وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأصلي وأسلم على رسول الله صلاة وتسليما يليقان بالحبيب المصطفى النبي المجتبى صلوات ربي وسلامه عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وتابعيه وتابعي تابعيه إلى يوم الدين. أحبتي وأحبائي في الله، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Could be one of the most devastating situations when there is a conflict or dispute between parents, especially the father and the children. SubhanAllah, in chapter 12, Surah Yusuf, it teaches us many lessons. And I wish that all parents would study that surah in order to learn a lot from it. Especially that relationship between Yaqub and his 12 children. What they have done toward their father Yaqub, and what some of them have done against Yusuf and his brother Benjamin. And the other stories related to Yusuf alayhi salam in his life, in order to learn how, when there is a dispute between parents, especially father and the children, how we can deal with it. And in the meantime, if even there is a dispute or conflict between the sons and daughters, children in general, how we can deal with it. Briefly, I will share with you when Yusuf alayhi salam saw in his sleep a dream telling his father that إني رأيت 11 كوكبا والشمس والقمر رأيتهم لي ساجدين. In my dream, my father, I have seen 11 stars, among them sun and moon. I have seen all of them have been prostrated before him, sajidin. Immediately, his father, Yaqub's response to him was that, يَا بُنَيَّ لَا تَقْصُصْ رُؤْيَاكَ عَلَى إِخْوَتِكَ فَيَكِيدُ لَكَ كَيْدًا إِنَّ شَيْطَانَ الْإِنسَانَ عَدُوٌّ مُبِينٌ. For my son, never share with your brothers what you have seen, otherwise they will plan in a very bad way, meaning they get rid of you in their planning. And Shaitan has been always the very obvious and clear enemy to the human being. He would come to them and tell them what to do and so on and so forth. That time was very well known by the expertise of the interpretation of the dreams. And Yaqub right away knew what that dream means to Yusuf alayhi salam. Of course, you know, the 11 stars, including sun and moon, this means his brothers. And of course, his dad and his mom would be there when Yusuf alayhi salam later, in the future, when he is in Egypt, after he leaves Palestine or Sham, to be the Prime Minister of Egypt, the Minister of Planning, the Minister of Economy, did a wonderful job, and so on and so forth. So at that time, the whole area was in famine, shortage of everything, food and supplies, So they had to travel to Egypt in order to have some supplies from there, including the 11 brothers who had to travel from their land to Egypt in order to have some goods in order to feed their own people. Yusuf alayhi salam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed upon him that gift to be the prime minister in order to save the whole region. Not only Egypt, not only Sham, which includes now Palestine, Lebanon, Iraq and Iran, and so on and so forth. A little piece of news today I have read, now they have been calling one of the so-called leaders of the Middle East now, Yusuf. Ma'amullah. One of them, they call him, you are Yusuf. You are the savior. You are the one most handsome, and you will do a lot for the country. Ma'amullah. We see now the political hypocrisy. One Sheikh called him the other day, he called the Prophet and Messenger, now they are calling him today, you are Yusuf of Misr. Anyhow, that's not politicians in there. Just a little. Anyhow, the short story of the brothers early on in the life of Yusuf, they were able to convince their dad Yaqub, let's take him to have fun, to play with us. We'll take him away in order to have fun with Yusuf and so on and so forth. Reluctantly, Yaqub told them, yes, you can take him in order to have fun, They took him, but they had a plan in their mind, definitely to get rid of Yusuf, and they did. The plan was, and they prosecuted that plan, in a very, very deep well in the middle of the desert. They casted him down very deep, in the middle of the night, very dark, and left him in the bottom of the well for him to die. One back to their dad, telling him that, we have left him there to watch our goods and our stuff, but a wolf devoured him. أكله him. Look at the plot, and the line, and the plan. And against whom? Their brother, Yusuf alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with his miracle, with his mercy on Yusuf, saved Yusuf. That caravan was passing by in order to get some water, and that well, Yusuf subhanAllah kept hanging in that container. He came up, and they were trying to find out, who's that little boy, 12-year-old. They took him and they sold him in the market at a very, very miserable price. وَشَرَوْهُ بِثَمَنٍ بَخْسٍ دَرَاهِمَ مَعْدُودَةٍ. Sold him as a commodity, a piece of furniture. Okay, buy that boy we found him. Yusuf has gone through a lot. If you have gone through some difficulties or challenges in your life, go back to Yusuf and see what happened to him. From his brothers in the well, being sold in a miserable price, being even in the palace of Al-Aziz, and the wife of Al-Aziz tried to sexually seduce him, forcing him to have sex with her. And Yusuf, subhanAllah, by the help and grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, stood away from such a thing to happen. if you think about why the brothers have done what they have done toward Yusuf, Yusuf and Binyamin were from a different mom. And all the other brothers came from a different mom. The dad is Yaqub, mothers are different. Yet, it doesn't justify to anyone to do such a thing for your brother, for your two brothers. SubhanAllah. There is no way to treat your brother this way. Especially when it comes to the father. When they went to Yusuf in Egypt, when he was appointed at the Prime Minister, the Minister of Economy and Planning and so on and so forth, that caravan of Yusuf's brothers came to Egypt in order to buy some goods. And at that time, there wasn't the way of nowadays to have money, currency, and buy. No, it's exchange of goods. I have this product, and I wanted to give it to you, and I would have some of your products, and so on and so forth. They were asking Yusuf in order to do this for them. They did not know he was Yusuf. And Yusuf has given them a lot, but under one condition, saying that you do have a brother. If you go back to your homeland, when you come back, bring him with you. I would like to see him. That's why he gave to them one extra load in order to convince them to bring that brother. When they went to their father, telling him that that was the condition put on us to bring our brother back, Ibn Yaqub alayhi salam, هل آمنكم عليه كما أمنتكم على أخيه من قبل? How can I trust you? I have trusted you with his brother before. How can I trust you to let Binyamin goes with you? So anyhow, they were able to convince him to take Binyamin back to Yusuf, and Yusuf saw him. When they were trying to go back to their father, telling him that, yeah, Yusuf was there, Binyamin, but Yusuf decided to keep him with him. So meaning, we can go back without him. So now he lost two, Yusuf and his brother. Yusuf is telling them that بل سولت لكم أنفسكم أمرا فصبر جميل. You have done something, you plan for something else. I have to be patient, sabr. And sabr jameel, the meaning, the translation of the meaning is beautiful, patient. How come you describe patient to be beautiful? This is not a usual thing. The meaning in here, according to interpretation of the Quran, when you have sabr and jameel in your life, it means whatever happened to you, you keep it to yourself and never tell anyone about what happened to you. Just keep it between you and Allah. فصبر جميل عسى الله أن يأتيني بهم جميعا. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring all of them back to me. And he left all of them at Yaqub. قال أسف على يوسف وابيضت عيناه من الحزن وهو كظيم. Yaqub lost his vision of being sad and grief, losing Yusuf and his brother. Can you imagine what happened to the dad while Yusuf saw his son, while the other ones do enjoy the life, and so on and so forth. إنما أشكو بثي وحزني إلى الله وأعلم من الله ما لا تعلمون. The only one I will share with him my grief and my sadness is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He knows the best what is going on, and so on and so forth. Look at Yaqub's reaction to his sons. He cannot say anything bad to them. He cannot even accuse them of anything that they have done. He cannot declare that I give up on you. You're not my sons or my daughters anymore, like many parents often do with their kids when they do something wrong. And in the meantime, just be patient, even if you lose your sight, you lose your vision, while waiting for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to do something. And in the meantime, Yusuf he knew them when they went to Egypt in order to have some goods for their own people. Easily to tell them, hey, you remember what you have done for me? Didn't you plot and plan in order to betray me? Aren't you the ones who casted me in the depth of the well, in the middle of the night in darkness? You're coming here to take some goods? No, to revenge. Yusuf alayhi salam did not do such a thing. I am willing to forgive you. And I cannot punish your own people because of what you have done. The fault is not coming to you, but it's coming to your own people back home. So I can provide you with whatever the goods you need, whatever the stuff you need in order to feed your people there, otherwise they will die out of hunger there. This is the essence of the human relation. You cannot, though you do have the power, you have the upper hand, you can seek revenge, you can punish them for whatever, you can just say no to them. No, you don't have to even deal with me. Or put them in the prison. Now, I have the authority. Now you're here. It is time for me to retaliate. It is what they have done for me. Now you stay here. You do not go back to your father or your family or your parents or your people. Yusuf hasn't done any of this. It would teach us something in here, no matter what happened to us. From anyone, relative or non-relative, a brother or sister, a friend or not friend, a family member, a community member, whatever happened to me, never seek revenge. Leave it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the one who can plan well for you. He is the one who can retaliate on behalf of you. He is the one who will be the best judge among you and other people who have harmed you severely. If you appoint yourself on the place of Allah in order to retaliate or seek revenge, you are a failure. Leave it totally after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Otherwise, for Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, after all of what he has gone through, of being in the world, being sold in a miserable price, being seduced by the wife of the palace of Al-Aziz, being in the prison for so many years, yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is able and capable of bringing you back to the best status ever, to be the Prime Minister of Egypt, to be the savior of the whole region. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the rule. If you leave things to Allah and you do not take care of those business yourself. This is one of the stories we have to learn from Yusuf alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed that the whole surah of Yusuf to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in the worst time ever, when he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, along with the believers, companions who came to Islam, were suffering the most, persecuted, bloodshed, being killed, being tortured. All of their goods and money and all properties were confiscated and they were suffering. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the whole surah to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to teach him and the Sahaba that here's what happened to Yusuf. It is no strange at all to happen to the prophets and messengers and their own people. Learn from that story, and we should learn from it. Yusuf alayhi salam, chapter 12 in the Quran, by Allah's grace and mercy and help, is teaching us. So that's why لَقَدْ كَانَ فِي قَصَصِهِمْ عِبْرَةٌ لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. In the stories of the prophets and messengers before you, Muhammad, wonderful lessons for those who can reflect. For those who can reflect. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all of us to learn from the story of Surah Yusuf. Help us to be good brothers and sisters to each other, good community members, good family members, good parents to good kids, inshallah. اللهم آمين. اللهم أنت ربي لا إله إلا أنت خلقتني وأنا عبدك وأنا على عهدك ووعدك ما استطعت أعوذ بك من شر ما صنعت أعوذ بك بنعمتك علي وأعوذ بذنبي فاغفر لي فإنه لا يغفر الذنوب إلا أنت اللهم إني وكلت إليك أمري فكن لي خير وكيل ودبر لي أمري فإني لا أحسن التدبير اللهم آمين. اللهم آمين. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. والسلام عليكم.